preparing to live stream the meeting. See, I think this is what I just need to do. Yes, because I could see you were commenting.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Right?
I don't understand.
Okay. I know. I don't know what happened either. Anyway, hi, Lenka.
Hi, Lara. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. I'm glad that it worked finally.
Yeah.
So tell me about your experience with bringing baby home. What does it mean to you?
That's a good question. I mean, we've taken the class pretty late in the game, I would say, because I met you when we first had Libushka. This is Libushka. She's 2 years old now. Will you say hi? Say hi? No? Okay, never mind. And I met you at Kaiser, right? At one of the support groups. And we talked about taking the class and about doing some other things. And then I kind of forgot about it because I was a new mom, right? And so it was only a couple of months later when we met again. And I must say, when we first had our baby, my mom was with us for 6 months, basically. So I had, and my husband was off work. Well, he had the paternity leave at work for 4 months. So I had a huge amount of support in those first months. And it wasn't until after those were done, basically after the 6 months, when I was alone with the baby, that I started figuring out that, oh my gosh, there's a new person in this household, and what am I going to do with it now that it's all on me? and it was at that point where it started to show that our relationship got the brush of it too, my husband's, because he was back at work and I was at home, and he came from work, and I wanted to have some time without the baby, and he wanted to have some time off because he just got off work. And so and there were little things like that just kept happening or started happening more around that time. And so that's when we met again, and I actually thought, okay, let's do this. Let's take this to a specialist. So bringing baby home was the class that we took when we first started with you, and it was kind of a jump start to our coaching, actually. That what that was I always, I've seen the presentations a couple of times, and what I love about the Gottmans is when they actually relate the story about their own first child. And they say, we brought the baby home from the hospital, and they give us this videotape. And so we put the baby in the crib, and he was sleeping, and then we looked at each other, and we said, now what? And then we popped in the videotape thinking that maybe, that was some sort of a program, how to take care of the little person, and it wasn't. It was a commercial for the hospital. But so that was kind of the thing, it was that kind of state that brought me to the Bringing Baby Home class. And it's what the class helps with. It won't tell you the nitty-gritty of baby care. That's not what it is for, but it will tell you what to do with yourself now that you have a baby. That's just yeah. And what I loved about it compared to other classes, because a lot of places offer a lot of classes about baby care, and it's all centered about the baby, around birthing. There's a lot of class around breastfeeding. There is a lot of education, this and that. You can get that information anywhere. Yes, do you have an opinion? 2. Okay. But bringing baby home is not about the baby. It is about the 2 people who had the baby. And that's the most awesome thing about it. So our takeaway from that, I think, was a lot about the constructive problem solving and about kind of communicating our needs, because that's become a problem. After the baby, you kind of know what your partner needs when it's just the 2 of you, and then you put baby in the mix, and suddenly you no longer know. You don't know how much time does your partner need away from both you and the baby. You don't know how much time you need away from the baby and from your partner. You don't know how much time you need with your partner without the baby. That's all things that you need to figure out as you go. And it's hard if you're not used to talking about those things. It's hard to get them out there or get a solution that would not be frustrating for at least one side of that relationship. So that's been a huge thing. I think our takeaway that we still try to do is have date nights at least once a week. Sometimes we skip because reasons, and it's been really interesting, to do date nights with COVID.
Yes.
But then again, even pre-COVID, we never went out. We have our indoor dates.
Yeah.
And
are you up for sharing what's worked?
For us, well, we met at a sci-fi convention and we are geeks. So what works for us is playing a video game together, or watching an episode of some series and just talking, about geek stuff. That works.
Work.
Yeah. And one more thing that I kind of, I feel that's not a thing. Hey, baby, stop. That's not a thing that you normally talk about in public, but I suppose it's a big part of the class takeaway from me, was when Dr. Gottman says that you need to plan your intimate life, that it's not gonna just happen anymore, and don't think that because it doesn't just happen, it doesn't need to happen. So just plan for it, and don't think it's gonna take the spontaneity out of it. Just make sure there's time in your schedule for it. That's all.
I'm getting the chills just thinking about that.
Right? Because, and to be honest, it's been that's been one of the challenges, because I've never realized, or nobody tells you how much your personal attitude towards intimacy is gonna. Sorry, my baby is apparently
Real life.
her own ideas. Lubishka, we can't turn this. Okay, mommy needs it like this right now. Do you want to come sit on my lap? Yeah, do you want to come sit on mommy?
Hashtag real life.
Yeah, hashtag real life. Okay, real life baby, real life toddler.
Yeah, real life with a toddler. Totally. How did you get so big anyway?
I know. Yeah. Anyway, so I was saying, nobody tells you pre-birth how much your personal attitude towards sex, how much your libido is going to change postpartum. And that's been a very, very nasty shock to me in a lot of ways. And it is one thing that I've, noticed even as I was talking to other new parents, is kind of a leitmotif that is a stressor on the relationship too, because and this is, it might sound sexist, but the truth is men can't have babies, so men don't have that problem. but so the man, for the man in the relationship, for the husband or for the father to grasp how much the mother's body and mindset about sex has changed postpartum is just, that's a quantum leap. And they won't make that quantum leap without communication, without you kind of problem solving through that. And
Totally.
part of that is the scheduling part. Like for me, if I have it on schedule, I know to prepare mentally for, okay, this is going to happen. And then it goes smoother and it's more enjoyable for both of us than when we just try to make it happen and I am too tired and, he's too cranky because things. or vice versa. I'm cranky because of the toddler and he's tired because of work.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yes. Okay.
Let's take the president.
Okay, apparently toddler wants to help daddy work. Right.
Thanks, Erika.
You want to say hi? No, I meant you.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm sorry, I gotta run.
Okay, thank you for joining.
Hashtag real life.
Hashtag real life, exactly.
Hashtag home office.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, I think that bringing baby home class was really, really, really a godsend before COVID just threw everything up in the air once again. And that's, just being able to, or being aware that if we want to know, we need to actually ask and actually tell, in problem solving throughout the adjustment to, him working from home and being here again 24/7, but actually not being here, not being able to do everything, that was a part of it that the kind of the repair checklist and the constructive problem solving strategies really helped with, I think. But it's a process. It's all a process, and I think the class is a great base. It's a great tool. It's a set of tools. Actually, it's a whole toolbox. That for it to be effective, it needs to be used, or the tools need to be taken out and used within the relationship. And the class can prepare you for that, but it won't do it for you.
Right. Totally. Like, that's why I love the coaching.
Right.
Well, the accountability.
Yeah. That definitely helped with that. Yes, the accountability, the kind of long-term planning, and seeing the progress, that really helped. Yeah. And one thing that we did, and I would love to go back to, but I just it's just been one of those things that kind of fallen by the wayside with everything else. But it was the asking the questions, both the card decks, and we had the 2-person journal that we need to go back to, and and that was fun. It's a lot of fun asking questions once again and talking about, sometimes it's weird things like, where if you had all the money and all the time in the world, where would you travel, right? And sometimes it's like, who do you have problem with right now? That was a question in one of the in the journal one day, and it's like, who's the person who's problematic for you right now, or who you have a problem with. Yeah, yeah, it's really been interesting getting those in.
Yeah.
Or
I
even
think
just
for me, even just releasing the need to do the question on the day that it's on I'm like, just pick a day and do any question that's in the book.
yeah.
Or a different one. Were you going to say something else? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, yeah, I was pretty much done. And yeah, but just doing one quick. I guess we were when we were doing it, we were doing like three or four questions per session because we usually got to it like twice a week, so we were kind of doing it to keep on top of it. But even one question is great fun sometimes.
Yep. Totally. It is fun. I agree. It's
Yeah.
getting to know each other as you're like.
Yeah. But I think another thing that the Bring Baby Home class is really great for is actually for dads. and you don't get many classes that are catering to dads, to fathers, because it's all about the physical aspects. It's all about the baby. As I said, it's all about the baby with the usual prenatal classes or baby care classes, and that's usually the mom's venue. So all of those classes are kind of catered towards women, even if they invite fathers, or even if the fathers are there, it's always like, oh, you're the support person here, uh, and so for Bringing Baby Home, I like that it promotes the role of the father and the relationship between the father and the child, in equal measure to the relationship with the mom.
Yeah, how do you think that's impacted you and your family?
I think that it gave Mike the confidence, or a bit more confidence dealing with the baby, or a bit more feeling of yeah, it's different, but it's the equal but different, right? Equal but different principle. Like you have different roles, even in the relationship with each other, but even with the relationship with the baby, you have different roles, but they should be equal, and you should find ways to connect to the baby in your own way. You don't have to do everything that the mom does, but you still want to do your part. And yeah, I think it's really it was funny in the class, because one of the things that the class mentions is that usually it's the dads who are kind of the wilder element in play, or the ones who are supposed to be doing the rough play, or the rough housing, and the daring stuff, and that. For us, it's actually the other way around. I'm the daredevil, and Mike is kind of the voice of caution and patience and all that. but
That's awesome.
Even just knowing that both are important in the development of the baby is a thing that is beneficial for us, because I can say, oh, I need to push her a little into the daring stuff or into the dangerous stuff, because she needs that kind of play, and then he can be his caring and careful and by the book person.
I love that so much. That's awesome. Yes, and figuring out each of your own styles of how you want to parent.
Yeah.
I think that's really powerful, that just the idea that the class can help give you some tools, and then you can figure out your own way and how that fits with your family to customize it for you.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not like it's not a cookie cutter thing. It's not going to give you a set of answers that are carved in stone. It will give you a huge pile of clay and some patterns that you can use to work the clay.
I like that. That's really cool. That's a good illustration.
Yeah.
So what would you say to an expectant couple that's considering taking it?
I would say go for it as soon as possible, because if you don't have the baby yet, you can focus more on getting the habits built before the baby even arrives, and then it will be easier and smoother to transition once the baby is there. But at the same time, if you want to wait and see what happens to your relationship after the baby arrives, to see if if you're coping, or if your mechanisms that you already have are working, you can do that too. We've taken the class when she was 8 months old or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it had a lot of impact and a lot of value for us at that point. But it was harder to actually take the class because she was toddling around there, or like crawling around and getting into stuff there. But
yeah, it was just before COVID hit.
Yeah, it was February, and yeah.
Yep.
Or January.
February.
It was the last week of January, first week of February, something like that. And then in April, the COVID happened. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, if you're just expecting, I would say just know that the changes are going to be bigger than you expect, and in very different areas than you expect. And this class is one of the things that can prepare you for some of them, or at least tell you that these shifts even exist. Even if you think, when you're taking the class, even if you think, oh no, that's never going to be a problem for us, at least it might be.
Right? Totally. I just want to put in there too that the class is available to put on your baby registry. So if finances feel like it's a really big challenge because there's a baby coming, you can put this on your baby registry at Be Her Village. I have my class listed there, and you can create any other services that you need that would be helpful, that you feel like, I can't afford this, it feels overwhelming. Be Her Village can help you to get it on your registry so that you can get the support you need in other ways.
Yeah. Definitely a better value than a lot of the physical items that you usually put on your baby registry.
Yes, exactly. Anything else you want to add? Those are my questions. I thought this was awesome. Thank you. But if there's anything else, you're welcome to add.
No, I think that's it. I just a general remark, no matter what you do, the most important thing is to never stop working on your relationship. It might be a class, it might be a coaching, it might be just, if you have just one advice, take the time to date again, and take the time to have time, just you and your partner. Never stop working on that.
Yes, exactly. Well put. That is a great one to end on. Thank you so much, Lenka, and thank you, Mike, in the background, wherever you are.
Yeah.
And Lavushka for your appearance.
You want to say bye? Say bye? Come here. Say bye. Say bye. Here, you can go back. Say bye, and you can go back. Say bye.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
They're having too much fun with him driving her around on a. But that's.
She's not allowing me to work. It's a chair.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
I see that being a challenge.
Hashtag real life.
Hashtag real life. Exactly.
Or
With a
hashtag
toddler.
toddler with an opinion. That's our hashtag for her. Toddler with an
That's a
opinion.
good one. Yes, exactly. I love that so much. Okay, you are awesome. Thank you so much, all of you.
Sure.
I will talk to you soon. I'll see you hopefully tonight at social hour.
Yeah, we're not sure about that because we didn't make our date night this week at the usual time for various reasons. So we might just take the time
Right.
to, be with each other, but we'll see.
Okay, that's good. That is fair. I appreciate knowing too. So we'll
Yeah.
see what happens. But Little Elf Family Services, we do have a week. Every other week we have a Wednesday night social hour, and we usually have a few families that join. So it's a good time. Find me in my Facebook group, and I'll give information if anybody else wants to join us. And hopefully I'll see you tonight, but if I don't, then it's totally fair.
All right.
And enjoy your time together.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.